Folks, every once in a while I get my hands on a mandolin. They're not as available as they were a couple of years ago. I'm having a harder time finding them, particularly in the price range that most beginners want to start with, which is usually around 100 to 150. So I thought I'd give this little Mitchell a shot. It is actually a solid spruce top, and I think it's slab cut maple on the back, all bound with gold hardware. Nice sort of gold vintage style open gear tuners on there. There's nothing exceptional about this. It's just a very adequate student model. I like the fact that it is a solid spruce top, not plywood. So I think it rings and has a little bit more sustain. It has what looks to be a rosewood fretboard and the floating bridge. It's an A style mandolin, which, even though it's the cheaper one, I actually prefer these to the F style. I don't know what it is about the F style. I've just never got along with it. Sorry, Kentucky folks. I just prefer these more simpler European looking mandolins for some reason. Fully bound all the way around. Nice black pickguard. I've seen a lot worse for hardware on these cheap mandolins. I've had Rogues and other brands where the piece that holds the pickguard is very flimsy and rattles. This is a very sturdy pickguard clip there that holds it in. There's the tailpiece there. It looks, it's pretty reasonable stuff. Brass button on there. Yeah, I've had a few Mitchell things lately, and I'm sort of ambivalent about them, to be honest with you. They sort of straddle the line between cheap and competent. I've had some of the guitars that are pretty decent, and some that are a little bit disappointing. So I didn't know what to expect with this mandolin. By the way, I think this is an AWS100 model. There's no model number in here. I did some looking up online, and that seems to be their entry-level solid top. I'll put the model number in the description. But if you like a traditional A-style mandolin, this is not a mandola or an octave mandolin like the last one I showed you, then this is a good bet. I think you can get these for around 150. You might get them cheaper at times, 125 maybe. Abalone fret markers as well, which is quite nice. They are made in China, and even though the top is solid, it looks fairly thick, and it has to be because this is one of the highest strung fret instruments that you can get. They're actually, for me, the hardest thing to work on. I mean, there's such a high string tension on these 8 strings at high pitch across a short scale length. If anything's out, if you have a nut issue, or you have a high fret, or you have warpage in the fretboard, it throws the whole thing out really fast. So they're very unforgiving to work on. This one, I didn't have to do much. The fret ends are nice. The action's decent. I didn't have to adjust the action, which is very rare. Usually you have to twiddle with the knobs here and take the action down. Yeah, it's a competent little instrument. So it's a little Mitchell A-style mandolin. As you know, the vintage sunburst isn't my thing, but it's very popular. A lot of people will like it, so I'm sure this will find a home fairly fast. I've had people come in here and say, you got any mandolins? You got any mandolins? So I got one now. So it should be out the door once I get this listed fairly quickly. All right, folks. See you next time.